AFTV, we're still inside the Kitech Stadium, where Arsenal have lost the game by a 0-0 to Tottenham. The goal scored in the first half. We never like losing to Spurs, right? But it weren't a great performance by Arsenal. I know it's only a friendly, but it weren't great, was it?
No, I mean, the team that started was pretty much full of players that, we saw last season that didn't do good enough come the end of it. I know Norgard was in there, and I think Norgard was one of our better players in the first half, because his job is to win the ball back. And I feel like he was winning the ball back. But aside from him, I'm looking at Ben White, and he looks a lot sharper than he looked at come the end of last season. But other than those two, I'm struggling to give anyone credit out there. And, it starts with Mikel, and I guess his team selection and the transfer window so far. I don't think we've done enough to add the options we need in attack. The front four positions. I know Gyökeres is in, and I'm happy about that. But it wasn't just a striking problem last year. Creating chances was a problem outside of, set pieces and crossing the ball into the box. And we started the game okay, 15, 20 minutes. It looked like we was in somewhat control. It looked like we was going to, create the better chances, but then they hit the post from a set piece. They hit the post again from a shot. They hit the post again from another set piece, and they grew into the game. And in the end, they won it. It wasn't the best of games, but it's a North London derby. It's never a friendly. As much as it's pre-season.
It's very physical, wasn't it?
Physical, the intensity was there, and I think it's very good preparation for the season, because most pre-season games are light, you can take it easy, but this one here, there's something more behind it. Now, people will say it's only the Hong Kong Cup. I don't care about the Hong Kong Cup. What I care about is the team we have prepared for game week 1, and I just feel like I'm going to get into it some more, but we just don't have the resources right now to be able to change up the attack enough, unless we're bringing on a 15-year-old Diamond or a 18-year-old Ranieri, two teenagers who, again, I'd say let's not rely upon them this season. Let's give them a better platform.
Diamond looked lively when he came on. He looked more livelier than the other forward players, didn't he, when he came on?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I mentioned his name. It wasn't as exhilarating a performance as AC Milan or when we saw him against Newcastle, but he came onto a very different platform today. We was doing too many long balls. We wasn't really, passing between the lines well. We wasn't creating centrally. It was all get it out wide, cross it into the box. Get it out wide, cross it into the box. And that just wasn't working. And I don't think we have the quality. I'm still looking at, Kai Havertz. I'm still looking at Martinelli, both of which started the game. And I'm saying we need to do better than that. They had moments where it might be Martinelli running one-on-one with the fullback. No success whatsoever. Nelson had 5-8 minutes today. And he beat his fullback, won a few free kicks. He performed better in that 5-8 minutes than Martinelli did in the 60 he got. That ain't good enough. And then you look at Kai Havertz, and again, I'm going to lean on the highest paid player. He had one shooting opportunity, and he chose to drill it, and it was an easy save for the keeper. But that's not good enough. And the result of all that is Saka essentially gets locked down because he is the main man, and he doesn't produce what we normally see him produce, because it's over the last 18 months, it's got far too easy to mark him and not worry about the others. Now I know Gyökeres has come in, and we expect him to get more minutes against Villarreal and Bilbao, and hopefully he starts against Man United.
I didn't even know if he touched the ball today.
No, I don't think, maybe once actually. I think he had one touch, and I think he nearly created a chance or something with it. But that's neither here nor there. I think Arteta was slow to make the changes as well. And overall, I'm still looking at the transfer window. I'm still looking at game week 1, and we still got business to do. This is a Tottenham side that have brought in one player, a new manager, and to be honest with you, for the majority of the game, they went toe-to-toe with us, and all we had was long balls and aerial duels, and we didn't have much else. That's why I'm looking at Eze, not for a left winger. I'm looking at Eze centrally, because a big problem from last season is creating chances centrally. Beating getting between the lines of the defence, not just the midfield. Zubimendi can do that in terms of getting it into the final third, but Odegaard. I mentioned Martinelli, I mentioned Havertz. Odegaard's in that as well. The last 12 months for him has been as poor as a Havertz or a Martinelli. So he needs to stop dilly-dallying on the ball. He does cute little flick, but we need him to be a bit more fluid, especially with Gyökeres coming in. When you get the ball, turn, pass, move. He dilly-dallies too much, and by that time, 2-3 men are back. And for me, our number 10, the mold of 10 I like, is someone that can, confidently move the ball forward. And Odegaard, in my opinion, he looks good on the ball, but he looks good without ever doing too much with it. And that's not good enough either. So out of the front four, I'm not impressed. And that's where I'm looking, because the attack is essentially what lost us the league last season. I say lost us, we was never in it, but that's the reason why, in my opinion, the attack. So I still think we got work to do. And people might say greedy and Listen, I'm sure Liverpool fans were more than happy with their window 3 weeks ago. And then what did Liverpool do? Sell Diaz for 80 mil, and they're going to go, make a bid for Isak. Whether they get him or not, who knows? But they're still making moves. And that's the team that finished above us by 10 points last season. So, I don't get the rhetoric that, we've got 6 players in. Okay, but 4 of them are backups. Only 2 really enter the first team, Zubimendi and Gyökeres. And even then, there's an argument that the game week 1, we start with Havertz again because it seems like that's Arteta's guy. So we still need to bring in Eze, in my opinion, or that mould, and then we go onto the left wing because Martinelli, Trossard's come off injured as well. It didn't look like a big injury, but he's on the chopping block apparently. He's the one that we're looking to move on. Something needs to change on that left-hand side because the whole 3 games now, Singapore, AC Milan, Newcastle, and today, Nelson's probably been the best left winger in terms of minutes to excitement, I'll call it. Minutes to excitement. Nelson's been the best of the 3. And that's the one you shafted off last year on loan, who's coming back off a big injury. That ain't good enough. Martinelli needs to look in the mirror. I like Trossard. I think in terms of a 12th man, he's potentially the best in the league. But we still got business to do, Rob. It's a sour end to a great pre-season tour, in my personal opinion. Love Singapore, loved Hong Kong. I could never love losing to Tottenham, whether it's a friendly or not.
Yeah, and just going back to the actual game, the goal, great finish by Saab, but was there a foul in the build-up?
Honestly, it didn't look like it to me. I think Lewis Skelly took a heavy touch and then Saar won the ball back. I haven't seen it again to see if Richarlison really had a big part to play and maybe nicked him. But it looked like it was a heavy touch and Saar won it back and a beautiful finish from him. And Raya has been questionable in the last few games as well in terms of his playing out of the back. So I feel like, that moment, it was a beautiful finish from Saar. I don't want to be saying that, but it was a beautiful finish. And I don't, look back. Even if they gave that as a foul, we didn't do enough to win this game. And we didn't have enough options to change the game. Like you said, Daumann come on and he was our most impressive attacker probably. That's not a 15-year-old. Some of them man need to look around because, like I said, as much as this is a friendly, it's Tottenham. So yeah, I'm not impressed if I'm honest with you. 2 games to go. 2.5 weeks to go till Man United game week 1. Business.
Are we looking near to ready, or are we looking far off for you?
We're looking closer to 3rd than we are 1st. Closer to 3rd than we are 1st, in my honest opinion. Because people also forget Man City, right? And I'm not looking at Man City's window and saying, wow, but I'm looking at Pep Guardiola and what I've seen in him in the last 15 years is a manager that, comes close to a Sir Alex Ferguson in terms of reputation and success and whatnot. We can't forget Man City have a manager that hasn't gone his whole career without, losing the league title more than 1 year. Never through Barca, Bayern, Man City. He's only lost it a year and won it back in each of the clubs. Actually, Bayern, he always won it, but Real, he lost it once against Mourinho and won it back the next season. So I'm looking at the competition and I'm thinking closer to 3rd than 1st right now. And I'm sorry, as much as people might say, yeah, we've done great business, 6 players in. We've lost 5 players since the end of last season, and we brought in 6 players. At the end of last season, we all understood we needed 3 players on top of what we have. We've only got 1 of those. That's why we need the AM and we need the left winger. And if they need to do business out to get that done, do the correct business because we need to move quickly now. 2 weeks left. If we start the season poorly, the pressure's going to be on Arteta. People out there thinking I'm prepping, a negative opinion on Arteta. I want the man to win. That's what I want. Buy great players, win. And if we don't get 2 players in and of that mold, Eze and a Rodrigo, Leao type of winger, then I'm sorry, I don't think we're going to do it. And that's another season under his belt where we don't get over the line. It's a long way away. I've been surprised before. I've held my hands up before. Hopefully I'm wrong. But as of now, we ain't got enough.